What did you say to Tex at half time?
I didn't say much to Tex. It was more directed at the whole team. I think we certainly play a lot better when we play as a team. So the message was we just, I guess, at times we still blazed away in attack. We didn't quite have the composure that's required in the bigger games to lower our vision and hit the free targets. And after half time, we were able to find free targets a bit more. We sort of controlled the tempo. We were able to mark the ball and make them defend, which worked a lot better. And I don't think I said anything to Tex, but he's very self-driven, and his effort obviously after half-time or for the whole game was just outstanding.
What turned it around for you, Tony?
I think I had my opportunities early. Didn't capitalise on those, and I thought if I just kept working, I'd eventually get a bit of space on my opponent. And the mids were unbelievable, the forwards were really good, and I thought Truck did a really good job tonight on Pav. So all round, I think the boys did a really good job.
What went through your mind, Tex, when you gave away that 50-metre penalty when it came to atone?
I was very disappointed. I probably let the team down a little bit, and I think they kicked a couple of goals after that. So I knew I had to work and get us back in the game and try and put a bit of scoreboard pressure on.
You must have been pleased to perform like that in your second final.
Yeah, it was really pleasing. I thought as a group we played really well and we responded after half time. I thought that Freo got a jump on us and shows character in the group to fight back and get the win.
Brenton, you played a lot of good games this year, but that second half was it one of the most pleasing for you?
Yeah, I think we had the balance back right again, so we were able to move the ball a bit more how we planned during the week. But also too, I thought we defended a lot better as well. You know, Tex mentioned Rutten's game on Pavlich was outstanding. Michael Dowdy keeps winding back the clock. You know, I just told him I was going to call off his retirement. You know, he's playing some great footy. You know, he's really holding that group back there together. Brodie Smith again. You know, 2 weeks in a row. Gee, he's outstanding. He's just so composed for a kid playing in the big stage. So we're starting to get some players now getting some confidence at the right time of the year, and it will certainly be hard to beat if we can replicate that form.
How much has Smith developed the last couple of weeks?
Amazing, really. You know, some players, though, it happens every year, when they get exposed to even greater pressure and greater challenges, some players just stand up even more so, and sometimes it surprises you who it is or who it might be, but yeah, Smith's just one of those guys that just seems to really absorb the excitement and the adrenaline involved with a big game, and that's 2 weeks now that he's been quite outstanding. So obviously really proud of him, and I'm sure I'm hoping, fingers crossed, he puts out the same effort next week.
What did you most admire about Ben Rutten's game, Brent?
He'll be the first to admit that he got great help from up the field. So there were times when the ball was sort of just quick kick forward or it was rushed forward. I don't think we allowed Fremantle as much sort of time and space for them to be able to hit Pavlich. So I think Truck would be the first to admit that it does help when we get that pressure up the field. But having said that, he very rarely got beaten in a one-on-one contest, and he's another one. And we obviously put it on him within the group that we needed a special effort from him, and we saw what Pav did to Geelong last week. And for Rutten to keep him to a goal and sort of low possessions was just a fantastic effort for the team.
Sando, they got a bit of space on you early, and then you lost Sam as well. Were you a little bit worried early on that things weren't going right?
Oh yeah, things didn't go to plan early for us, and just went from bad to worse. They kept scoring goals. I think they dominated us out of the centre bounce, which was a worry. You know, Sandlands was just giving their midfielders first use. We lose Shaw to a hamstring injury and have to rearrange our forward line. So Henderson goes back, John Cock forward. But I'll say it again, this team plays so much better when we play as a team. So even though we had all that adversity and things weren't going our way, when we just sort of got into that zone and that slotted into that role of just playing your role for the team, was certainly much better.
Were you always pretty confident that their scheduling was going to come into it? They seemed to get pretty tight, and your boys really ran that pretty hard.
Yeah, I did say that to the media after the game on the ground. I do feel for Freo because they certainly threw everything at us, and they've had the back-to-back 6-day breaks and all that travel. You know, it has to take its toll. So I didn't tell the players, but I did feel that if we could just keep in the game and keep the momentum rolling, that eventually they would tire. And I have to admit, I do admire what Freo have done. You know, their form in the second half of the year has been outstanding, and they've threw everything at us tonight early. And unfortunately for them, we just had to run a bit late in the game.
What's your emotion now?
No, it's all of those things, yeah. No, it's certainly all of those things, yeah. It's important that we understand, though, that we've just won a semi-final, and that puts us in a position to play in a prelim. So you enjoy it, we review it, and then we get on with our next opponent. So the season's not over for us. As happy as we feel now and as relieved as we feel after that first quarter, or 6-1 against, it's important that we get back to business now, recover well, review, and then we'll go on with the Hawks as soon as we can.
You used the word relief, sorry. Did you feel the stress a little bit, or the strain during the week leading up to this, that such a good season could all of a sudden end?
No, not so much. I don't think you, as much as you can, you can't think about losing. I mean, it has to enter your mind at times, but our focus all this week was what role you could play for the team, and at no point did I mention, or did I even say to any of our coaches, if we lose this week. So, but there was some anxiety in the box. You have to. Your heart rate's pumping. There's moves happening everywhere. Players injured. Some players, out of form. A lot of players in form. So we certainly threw them around a bit tonight and got the result that we needed.
So, were you surprised that Fremantle didn't make a change on the table?
I'm not sure. I probably can't comment on that. I was too much worried about my boys, to be honest. But yeah, maybe.
Personally for you, how important was it to the tone your performance last week? You probably struggled a fair bit.
Yeah, big games. I'd like to pride myself on playing well, and after last week I was pretty disappointed in my performance. So to come out and play well, gives me a lot of confidence.
What about your set shot kicking, Tex? Obviously the radar was off a little bit early, but you were able to turn it around. What do you sort of do mentally to help yourself through that?
I think I just go back and take a couple of deep breaths and think about my routine. If I can do that, then the rest will take care of itself.
You don't lose confidence at all?
Nah, not at all. I just keep trying to get the ball in my hands.
Brenton, in the scheme of things, how important did you say Taylor goal on half-time going to the third?
Yeah, that was really good. I mean, I must admit, it's even when you watch other games and you see a player or a team score a goal right on a key break, it just gave us, I think, the energy and the excitement. I mean, the boys came in the rooms, put us back, I think, to 12 points down or something like that, which just gave us a little bit of a spark going into half-time. So, it certainly got us the momentum rolling again, particularly after half-time, so it was great.
Brenton, why do you think it has taken 6 quarters, really, to discover some poise under finals pressure?
Maybe just taken 6 quarters. I'd love to be able to flick the switch and just get the boys to play perfect, but finals are hard. There's so many things happening out there. The pressure's intense. The hits are harder. It's sometimes you just take a little while to get into the groove. I mentioned some players have just done it really quickly, and others we probably found tonight too still at times lacked that little bit of poise and composure. But once we got in the groove, we started to get the ball outside. We started to make them defend. We looked like a much better team.
Sando, was that one of Jason Pucaletta's best games of the season?
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, he was really important for us. He's another one that you look at the stat sheet afterwards and you don't realise he's had so much of the ball, but he's just clean. He's clever around contests. He's that dangerous match-up forward for us, and he's a real leader of that forward group too. So it's been good that he's been able to just get in a bit of form tonight too.
Brenton, I know it's only just after the game, but the way you won in your second half, do you believe that the players have got that belief back in them, or was it always there?
No, the belief's always been there, I think, yeah. I mean, the doubt comes from the doubt comes externally. I've got tremendous belief in our playing group, and the assistant coaches that we've got have been fantastic this week in, reminding our players that their best is good enough. We'll certainly have to be at our best next week. Hawthorn with the week off in Melbourne, we'll certainly be the underdogs. So it's really important that we get over there and hopefully we get tons of support. I know it's going to be crazy here this week with the build-up to a prelim final, but we'll certainly go over there really confident after our second half tonight.
Just on that support, not to focus on the negatives, but you're a bit disappointed with the crowd tonight?
It's a bit out of our control because it's the AFL that have to obviously sell the tickets. Our fans all came last week and were probably disappointed. The ones that were here though, 31,000 made some noise. The 31,000 sounded like 80,000, I must admit. So well done to those fans that came and screamed and yelled, and the players are really appreciative of it. It's our last chance, it's our last home game for the year, so I know there'll be some really proud, happy people driving home in their cars tonight. Thankful that they came and saw just a red hot game of footy, so well done to those fans.
Probably have to make at least one change by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks like Shaw's in trouble, yeah. I mean, it's hard for me to say, but it looked like he jagged his hamstring early. I'm not sure about the about the Petrenko one, but I'll catch up with the medicos after this.
If you lose Shaw, like you probably with a hamstring, how do you reinvent that defence yet again?
Yeah, it's another challenge for us. Yeah, we'll have to restructure again. Andy Otten was close to playing this week, so he's one that springs to mind straight away. Matthew Yench. There's still plenty of guys in good form who have played some SANFL footy who can come in and play their roles. You know, Luke Thompson came in tonight after one game for the year, and he more than held his own tonight. So we've said all year we've got good depth, and we've said all year that if we needed to call on players, that we could get an even contribution. So that'll have to be the challenge again this week.
How do you assess Kurt Tippett's last 2 weeks?
He's below his best, yeah, and he'd be the first to admit that. But it's Fremantle had numbers back tonight. You know, these forwards were always against extra defenders, and that's the way they play. That's the way they structure. It is difficult for our key forwards to have nights out against such a great defence. And at times when we got Tex one-on-one, he was able to make them pay. But Tippo certainly played his role, probably not to the standard that we need him to, but he's a very proud player, and I'm sure we'll see a much better effort from him next week.
Have you been happy with his ruck work?
His ruck work was good, yeah. What we actually did a couple of times tonight was throw him up the ground a little bit, took Dawson out of where he felt comfortable. So it's all about playing your role for the team. You know, sometimes we look at raw stats, but sometimes players don't have as many possessions but actually play their role really well.
This might sound ridiculous, but could he be a defender?
That's a little bit ridiculous, yeah. No, but he could.
Brenton, can you identify the moment you think there's there in that second quarter where they finally accept that they should play that risky football that you demanded of them?
Oh, I think sometimes we just assume that we can go out there and play how we want to play. Sides, when they're defensively set up so well, and Fremantle are right up there. You know, they're probably the best structured defensive side in the competition. But when we flicked the ball outside and got it outside of that contest area, we just looked a bit more dangerous. And some of our run-off half-back was good today. Some of our spread from our midfielders was good. And I'll say it again, when we got even numbers ahead of the ball, we just looked much more dangerous.
Injury was
Just Shaw at the moment. If there's anyone else